All right, so we're gonna work on Hey Joe here. I've got my electric, little Jimi Hendrix tone dialed in. We'll jump right into that intro lick, and you don't have to. I like to pick up the bass and sort of do a hybrid picking. You can just simply strum those top two strings, right? So this is your B and your E. You're gonna instantly slide. So it's not, but an instant as soon as you strum. And that's 3 to 5 on the B, 3 on the B, and then 4th fret of the G string, right? And again, that's another, so slowed down, but together it's. One more time. So we got that intro lick. And then with this, I just like to take that E shape because we're playing out of E. That's where that sort of slide lands. And sort of let it hammer on here. That pointer finger hammering onto the G is what's going to give it that bluesy flavor. So. And then you kind of got a down, middle, and then an up strum on the treble strings. And I hit that low E. And I'm thinking in terms of just moving this same cluster of fingers using my middle and ring, right? And I'm just sliding there from the 4th to the 5th fret with that sort of chunk of the E minor shape, right? Slowed down, I'm going. Again, just thinking of E minor shape. Back to the E, first position E chord. Then you're going to slide up here to the 7th fret. And I'm thinking really of this A-shaped D chord triad. Those 3 notes right there. The 7th fret. I'm just barring using one finger. I am picking up 4 strings here. But the high E, not really a part of the equation. I'm kind of muting it. So even if I hit it, you're not really hearing it. You can see how I have angle on my finger. Sort of at an angle with just that pointer finger. And as it angles away, right, away on the high E string, it's going to mute. So again, we're out of a D triad on the 7th fret, and then I've got pointer making that bar chord or that triad, and then my ring is going to hammer on to the 9th fret on the we're on the D string here, and you're going to pick up your G string right in the process. So you're strumming just the D and the G, and slowly it sounds like, so it's both and then a hammer on. Strum both strings and then slide it down. So up to speed it's, and then that's going to take us into our first chord, which is a C bar chord, right? Out of that A shape. I use that 2-finger sort of fingering, and I think that pinky makes a lot of sense, pointer and pinky here. So we're doing a fast switch from C to G, right? The next 2 chords is the same exact jump, right? A shape to E shape. This is in with your bar at the 3rd fret to make C. Then you make your G, and then we've got a D chord, right? So my root is here on the 5th fret of the A string to make D. Again, I'm using my pinky. Same rule applies. As my pinky sort of sweeps away naturally, it's going to mute the high string, right? So it's the exact same bar chords. A shape to E shape with a bar on the 3rd fret. A shape to E shape with a bar on the 5th fret. And then we're going to a 7th fret bar with the root open, right? Since this is an E chord, we can leave that open string and it gives it a lot more body even though we're up the neck, right? So slowly we're gonna go. So that's sort of sounds like a whole lot of love, right? And it's the same notes. It's just out of that E. I'm doing going back to ring finger picks up the 7th fret of the E string, pointer finger picks up the 5th fret of the A string, right? That's how that's going to work, right? Let's talk about the strumming pattern. I'll play it for you one more time, and we'll talk about kind of what I'm doing there and what kind of to mimic what Jimmy did on the recording. Intonation issues. This is set up for slide. Sorry about that. So it's really just a kind of feeling and swinging with the rhythm of the tune, right? Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So that's the meat and potatoes of this tune, right? One thing that we'll add to this, since we're really just moving around with the A shape and E shape, kind of up the circle of fifths actually, so it could just go on and on. We'll talk about something Jimi Hendrix does, and it gets us thinking about not just full bar chords with the root, but just triads, and that's super useful on electric guitar, right? That's going to start to give you some mobility around the neck using the cage system and sort of tying these shapes together in a musical way. So on the record, again, this is not a note-for-note transcription. These are just some licks and some ideas that you can sort of use at your will. And really that's more advantageous maybe than just copying a transcription note for note. So we'll start out of that C shape. So we'll do the C shape full bar chord. C shape to G shape. We'll do that first because that is going to be what transitions us into D. So I've got C here and D, and that gives it a lot of Jimi Hendrix flavor, right? All I'm doing there is taking my root note for that G chord, which is the 3rd fret of the E string. So I'll switch from C to G. And all I'm doing there is taking the root and then going a whole step up. So 3rd fret to 5th fret, and then instantly sliding that, right? As soon as my ring finger comes up from the E shaped chord for G there, it's gonna just slide up. And that's the same notes as the Whole Lot of Love kind of sounding part of this song, right? So it's, and then 3, 5, it's 3, 5, and then 5 on the A. We did the same thing in the next position, right? those A-shaped chords, right? We can move and use just our ring finger like we did in that intro. And that is sort of this pentatonic major sort of lick. So Jimi Hendrix did this all the time. It's just using that A-shaped triad and just a whole step up, right? And we're just messing around, right? Just hammering on. That's just the pentatonic major scale, but that's really cool. Sounds great in this song, and it gives us just a chance to sort of add some licks and melody to these tunes. So. A little sloppy there. Can't play it quite as well as Hendrix. The real exercise there is just make that triad and just get used to going. Just using the triad and my ring finger a whole step up, right, in any of those positions. The only thing left on this song, and I'm going to change to this sort of, I have to turn my volume down. There we go. The only thing left in this song is the... So this is just a sort of chromatic walk up. So we start on C root note on the A string, and then it's again, that's just C open, first fret, second fret, third fret. You're going to instantly take that pointer finger down on the second fret of the A string. So it's and it's going to go straight into that E chord. So it's C open, 1, 2, 3, second fret of the A, and then I'm sorry, and then so it's just a chromatic walk up. And second, third, fourth, fifth, second, third, fourth, fifth on the E. And I'm going to pick up the fourth fret of the A from there. And then my next note here is the root for the same E chord, right? If you switch in and add some pentatonic minor licks in there, it's going to give it some really cool blues flavor. So that's a quick walkthrough of Hey Joe, a great tune, and one that gets us used to walking around using our caged triads and bar chord shapes.